kita mampu balikin keadaan. Bareng My Telkomsel, terus jalankan kebaikan.
Ya, kalau boleh sharing, ini yang pertama kali kita syuting dan ini dalam hidup saya selama saya berkarir di brand communication, kita syuting benar-benar remote dari rumah, dan juga waktu itu approval-nya pun via WhatsApp, dan setiap kali kita melakukan approval kita melakukan lewat Zoom. Dan ya saya pun ya amazed juga dengan output bahwa memang ya alhamdulillah kita bisa mendeliver dengan message yang cukup bagus dan diterima oleh masyarakat gitu. Di go to market sendiri memang kalau kayak kita di Telkomsel kita punya framework yang kita sebut dengan catch, connect, and convert, di mana kita selalu membagi karena at the end kita dengan adanya tren digital marketing sekarang bahwa memang kita harus pisahkan, kita mulai berpikir secara granular. Pada fase-fase awal biasanya kita dalam launching itu kita ngeluarin catch di mana kita ngejar massive awareness, dan media yang kita pilih pun ya termasuk TV, terus kemudian juga on the digital itself kita pilih media yang memang punya basis atau secara teknologi, secara metodologi bisa nge-reach people as many as they can. Kemudian juga kita ada beberapa activity yang memang melibatkan, bahkan kita kontak dengan beberapa influencer, dan juga ngedrive orang untuk datang ke website kita untuk melihat sendiri apa sih manifesto dari program ini. Dan juga kita melakukan conversion campaign di mana since kita juga ada kayak aplikasi My Telkomsel, kita ngedrive orang supaya terjadi transaksi. At the end kita juga ada part of business yang memang harus kita kembangkan dan ngedrive orang untuk melalui komunikasi, melalui media untuk dapat melakukan aktivasi di fulfillment yang kami miliki. At the end, as a result campaign from the top funnel that we have a good numbers of views that leading in terms of effect YouTube ads at that time for the Ramadan period. In terms of bisnis sendiri, kita increase 25% of revenue. Pada waktu itu kita ngerunning campaign ini nggak cuma tadi yang ngomongin tematik, tapi juga ada tactical yang memang kita ada objektif secara bisnis. Kemudian juga secara manifesto TV tadi bisa dilihat juga di YouTube, mungkin bisa dibuka juga sekarang. Banyak positif comments pada waktu itu yang kita lihat memberikan spirit ke orang-orang, ayo kita sama-sama kuat pada waktu Ramadan, terus maju, jangan sampai moving forward is actually ya kita melihat bahwa behavior shifting mungkin nanti akan dijelaskan juga sama yang lain. Terjadi perubahan yang sangat besar, yaitu mulai dari new online behavior, e-money, online shopping, sama conscious and also sustainable consumer. Jadi perubahan ini terus yang memang kami melihat, dan juga baik secara marketing, baik secara produk, baik secara komunikasi, itu yang memang kami harus hadir dan juga mendengarkan apa yang disebut dengan customer voice. So we will more engage in digital environment, and karena kami juga basisnya adalah teknologi dan telekomunikasi, tentunya digital menjadi salah satu keyword di next year, dan terbukti juga continue. Kalau kita lihat journey-nya pada waktu sekitar bulan September Oktober kan kami launching entertainment untuk terus memberikan Disney Hotstar untuk terus memberikan entertainment ke pelanggan kami yang berada di rumah. Mungkin itu saja dari saya karena waktunya 20 menit jadi agak buru-buru tadi. Terima kasih, mungkin nanti kita akan banyak diskusi juga pada waktu nanti sesi panelis. Mungkin saya kembalikan ke Mas Reza kali ya. Thank you.
Oke, terima kasih Mas Fadel. Menarik sekali ya presentasinya. Sekarang kita akan memanggil Pak David Lim. VP Marketing dari Happy Fresh untuk share tentang Happy Fresh dan juga learning ya selama 2020 ini. Pak Davis, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I put together these slides to introduce Happy Fresh a little bit, and I will do it in the form of a story. Okay, so let me try my best. So who are we, right? Who are we? Happy Fresh, I think some of you might have heard of us before. We are the fastest growing online grocery marketplace in Southeast Asia. And we pride ourselves over the kind of freshly handpicked products from our customers' favorite supermarket using a mobile app and website in the comfort of their homes. So these are all just words on a slide. And I was looking through the slides again, and I wonder how much of this actually means anything to all of us, right? So let me go through a little bit more about what we believe in, what is our mission statement, and things like that. So our purpose really from the very, very first day is to deliver a simplified life, because we know that life is really very, very complicated, right? So we want to liberate our consumers' life and make things easier and simpler for them, starting from groceries. Make no mistake, we are not going into the super app business, okay? So no, just groceries. And our mission, right? Our CEO constantly talk to us about that. When you ask Guillaume, our CEO, what is the mission of Happy Fresh? He will tell you this day, and until today is still the same in Southeast Asia. So a lot of people ask us, online grocery is getting very, very big in Korea. Do you guys have any aspiration to expand into those countries? The answer is no, because I think Southeast Asia has more than enough consumers for us to capture and for us to change the perception about groceries. Let me give you some numbers. The annual spending countries in Southeast Asia is about $30 billion a year. Okay, that's huge. Today, only 3% of that revenue is spent online for groceries. So in terms of online groceries, the market that we can capture or convert from offline to online is 97% of that $30 billion. That is how big online grocery market is within Southeast Asia. So I think, and it's a very exciting region because every country is basically different. Indonesia is very different from Malaysia. Thailand is extremely different from Vietnam, right? So there's a lot of opportunities here. And when we talk to our investors, where we get our funding from, the kind of media coverage that we get, we are currently at Series C, right? And some of the investors that are backing up this whole idea of online groceries have like the big boys like Grab, Line, Naver, Vertex, and they believe just like us, right, in the future of online groceries. And I think we do know, and I always say this the same thing, right? 10 years ago, all of us go to an offline shop to buy a t-shirt, right, or to buy a pair of jeans. And 10 years later today, the only place that we buy a t-shirt is probably online, right? And I wouldn't want to walk into Uniqlo today just to buy a t-shirt. I would just buy it online. I think what we forecasted or what we predicted for groceries is that in the next 5 years, easily 40 to 50% of the Southeast Asia groceries will be done online. And what we saw was that COVID-19 actually accelerated this to maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. A lot of things have changed in 2020. It's a very, very funky year. But coming back to Happy Fresh, right, who we really are, and this is the part where I go into the story. This is the executive team, the senior executive team. Yeah, it's a good mixture of people from big corporates who left their corporate life and then come and do a startup business. But one person here, which I just highlighted, is Pak Fajar. So Pak Fajar is the beginning of this whole story. It's very interesting. So Pak Fajar was actually the engineering director at Yahoo. Yeah, when Yahoo was very, very big in Indonesia back then. And then he started a company called GoPro. So GoPro got acquired by Yahoo. And then after a while, we know the acquisition story, right? Fajar stayed at home, being a geek, nothing much to do. He was playing his games. He was surfing the internet until his wife said, Fajar, go to the supermarket with me. And I think a lot of us will agree that being a geek, he doesn't like to do it. Right? He doesn't want to get out of his comfort zone. He doesn't want to get out there. But he has to do it because his wife asked him to do it. Right? So the wife is always right. So Fajar went to the supermarket with the wife. So he was going from aisle to aisle. And this was about 6 years ago, 2014. And then he started thinking, hey, I'm a tech wizard. I'm a geek. I'm good at this. Why can't I use technology in Thailand? Yeah, so we will be expanding into more countries just to spread the service more and more. And we are available on App Store and Google Play, of course, on both platforms. Now, but what exactly do we do and how do we do this, right? We partner up with more than 35 supermarket partners in all 3 countries. And what they do is that they say, I tell you what, why don't you base your operation in our supermarket stores? Yeah? And then we will support you in your operations when your customers place an order through your mobile app, right? Push it to your shoppers and your riders and they start their operation in our supermarket stores, right? Now, I always say this, right? It seems like we are in grocery shopping, okay? But the true fact is this, we are actually in the female shopping business, right? Why? Because our data tells us that 80% of our customers are female. And I'm not going to argue with this, right? If you ask me to choose between shampoo and conditioner, I probably mess this up in the supermarket, right? So, and that's why we know a lot about our customers. We know how often do they buy certain things, how often do they have to top out certain household products, do they cook at home, right? Just by looking at whether they buy a lot of fresh produce, right? We even can understand whether certain families have children because they start to buy things like diapers, right? That tells us a lot about the life stage that this household is in. Do they buy cereal and milk? How often do they replenish these 2 products? Tells us how old roughly the kids are, right? So things like that. And essentially we expand our target audience to look also at the millennials that just left their home. So think about this. Those who just got married, left their home, left their parents, buy a new house in, say, BSD, right, or Bintaro, then suddenly they have to buy everything for their house, but they don't know how to choose cabbage. That's the kind of target audience that we are also looking at. Yeah, and it's not easy because I can tell you I don't know how to choose cabbage, right? And that's why the service comes in, and that's why our personal shoppers are our secret weapon. Yeah, they go through extreme training, right? I would say boot camp. I was on one of the training session, and the kind of tips and tricks that they have when they are choosing the fresh produce, especially, right? And the way they choose the item off the shelf with the longest expiration date is just amazing, right? Our riders are their tech team partners. Both of them are actually stationed at all our supermarkets. Yeah, and they can also chat with the customers on the app, right, for replacement, because certain things might be out of stock. Say, for example, dragon fruit is out of stock. Do you want it to be replaced with something else? The apples look good today. Do you want to replace it with apples? If not, it's okay. I just don't buy that, and then I'll pay up, and I'll pass it over to the riders, and the riders will deliver it to the customer's home. It's as simple as that. Yeah. At first, we thought it was just that simple. Then we look at the whole entire process, and we realize that this pattern keeps repeating itself again and again every 7 to 10 days. And that's where marketers call the 5th P of marketing, which is perception change. Right? We know price, product, promotion, and positioning, right? Perception change is something that we have noticed in the past 5 years of doing this, where people are, I would say, getting more and more lazy, yeah, and they will pay for a service like that just to be done. Now, these became very, very obvious during COVID-19. I would say during Q2 of this year, Q2 of 2020, when lockdown started happening in all the countries in Southeast Asia. Yeah? We all know what happened to toilet rolls, right? We all know what happened to that. But it's more than that. We started seeing people needing groceries but cannot get out of their homes. We also see people losing their jobs, right? And how they need to continue to get groceries for their households, but they cannot do so. And that was when we saw a 3 to 5x increase in our traffic, and the demand just shot up from there onwards. We did a lot of changes in marketing, operation, tech, and product. Everyone started to restructure ourselves, the way we work. We also specifically in marketing started to think about what is the new content strategy? What should we be talking about, right? What is our role as market? Changed tremendously. The team needed to be very, very agile and flexible. Some of the media that we have booked, we need to make a decision whether we cancel or not, right? If we don't cancel, what is the content going to be going up on that media space? Be very, very quick. And I'll share a bit more on this later on during the panel discussion as well. But how do we really make all this happen is we also think about the customers, right? We make sure that, we make mistakes in life, right? All of us do. If you choose to buy something and our shoppers actually bought it, and in fact, let's say the apples are not fresh, yeah, delivered to the door, the customers can actually reject anything or everything at the door. It can be done. So that gave our customers a bit more confidence to try it out for the first time, right? And I think also something where I think a lot of us don't like is that we are unable to talk to the person who is doing something so personal for us, making our groceries. So we allow our customers to have a one-to-one relationship with our shopper. So some of our shoppers actually become friends, I would say, with our customers after they say, I can pick this for you. Every time I get this shopper, I feel very happy because she is very good. She knows what I like, right? So things like that, after a while, it becomes a form of habit. And that, in a nutshell, is basically what Happy Fresh is all about. And you can really tell, right, how crazy it was for us over the past 8 months. What I would say is, in 2021, we started planning marketing, right, for such an essential service. But yet again, we also know that so a lot of things are very exciting for us. We have Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. How we're going to execute it from a marketing perspective is something we can discuss later on based on the kind of questions that all of you might have. Yeah. Over back to you, Reza.
All right. Thank you very much, David, for the sharing. I think we definitely learn more on what Happy Fresh is doing. What are the kind of the changes that you're doing. I mean, especially just to kind of smoothen out the like customer experience, right? And like tie that up like with your operations, but like definitely we'll have like prepared like a few questions that we can discuss like in the panel discussions. Okay, let's like moving on to our next speakers, Bu Sylvia dari IDN Media yang akan sepertinya sharing sedikit tapi IDN Media style ya, tidak hanya akan menggunakan video nantinya. Silakan Bu Sylvia.
Ya, thank you Reza semuanya. Halo, salam kenal. Mungkin aku kenalin diri dulu kali ya. Thank you semua waktunya. Aku Sylvia, aku Head of Business Development di IDN Media. Backgroundku agak loncat-loncat. Aku kuliahnya dulu graphic designer, majoring in advertising, terus akhirnya masuk ke agency, terus akhirnya udah capek ya lelah sama dunia agency, kita masuklah ke dunia media dan ternyata menarik banget dan semangat banget sih ngejalaninnya gitu. Mungkin biar nanti kita ceritanya ke depan lebih tahu konteksnya, mungkin aku share ya sedikit mengenai IDN Media itu seperti apa sih sekarang gitu. Sebentar ya. Sudah terlihat videonya ya?
Ya, sudah.
Okay. IDN Media is the leading media tech and content platform company built by and for passionate millennials and Gen Z in Indonesia, connecting with more than 50 million audiences each month. IDN Media works toward a vision to democratize information and positively impact society. IDN Times authoritatively covers the intersection of news, lifestyle, culture, politics, and trends, regarded as the most informed of news and trends to the digital-savvy audiences. Popbella.com leads the new breed of urban women journalism, covering the fast-paced world of beauty, fashion, style, and women empowerment. Hotmama.com accompanies millennial moms in their parenting journey with expert guides and value-driven content. Yummy is the #1 food media that helps people to cook well, eat well, and live well. JKWK is at the center of Indonesian esports, keeping its audience ahead of the esports trend through its media arm, while having much fun competing in international and national competition through its esports team. Duniaku covers the universe of games, anime, technology, and internet culture, serving its vibrant community with guides, reviews, and the latest updates. Amplification machine for the lifestyle-minded audiences, an event agency built by and for the cultural trendsetters. IDN Creative co-creates marketing campaigns with brand partners and distributes them to our extensive media network. IDN Creator Network connects brands with creators, Instagrammers, YouTubers, and celebrities, from providing data-driven recommendations to executing campaigns. IDN Research Institute is an independent think tank where we generate a foundation of facts that enriches the public dialogue and supports sound decision-making. IDN Programmatic OOH builds smarter cities by using a proprietary and patent-approved internet and GPS-connected smart screen on taxis and ride-sharing cars. We provide advanced location-based advertising and engaging content while generating smart city data for local government. Let's work together to democratize information and positively impact society, one step at a time, for a better Indonesia. Nah, jadi mungkin dari yang udah aku sharing tadi, sebenarnya yang paling baru, yang belum sempat masuk ke video itu adalah Aiden Pictures. Itu baru banget kita acquire demi istri production. Mungkin kalau misalkan pernah tahu Nugros, Fajar Nugros, one of the most famous sutradara di Indonesia, kita acquire production house milik beliau dan Susanti Dewi, istrinya. Dan akhirnya kita join bareng, dan sekarang kita lagi produksi untuk persiapan produksi untuk film pertamanya Aiden Pictures adalah Balada Si Roy. Jadi kalau misalkan tahu zaman dulu itu yang lagi zaman-zaman novelnya Lupus, novelnya ada umur segituan enggak ya guys ini. Zaman-zamannya Lupus sama Olga. Nah, ini nih satu-satunya yang belum dijadiin film. Jadinya kita pengen ngangkat, dan kita pengen kan lagi cukup hype banget nih ya yang kayak background film-film yang tahun 80-an, 90-an. Nah, kita pengen capture itu dan pengen make it relevant with our audience sih gitu. Jadi kalau misalkan dilihat dari helicopter view, sebenarnya Aiden Media itu punya motto adalah kita pengen democratize information. Nah, apapun informasinya yang berkaitan dengan milenial sama Gen Z itu kita akan work our ass off untuk bisa lebih dekat dan lebih relevan sama audiens kita gitu sih. Jadi mungkin menyambung dengan temanya yang tentang new normal dan new marketing berkaitan dengan COVID. Di sini of course kita untungnya starting right, the keribetannya kayak tadi mungkin kayak Mas Fadel cerita syuting pakai approval via WhatsApp segala macam ya, it happen gitu di kita juga. Terus beberapa mungkin hal-hal yang dari dulu sudah pernah kita lakukan tapi masih nggak terlalu heavy, cuman lebih ke tim editorial aja yang bikin konten. Sekarang mungkin tipe-tipe yang kayak sekarang ya, kayak webinar, kayak online class, sharing session via online, live Instagram, itu menjadi one of the best selling service di dalam Aiden Media. Karena dari awal memang kenapa Aiden Media kuat, kita mungkin berawal dari kreatif konten kali ya. Jadi kayak custom konten dan ternyata juga banyak teman-teman partner yang cukup merasakan impact-nya bekerja sama dengan Aiden Media gitu. Jadi kita untungnya udah asalnya memang originally kita digital platform. Jadi kedepannya kita mungkin akan terus akan terus inovasi dan akan terus memberikan yang terbaik sih untuk si audiens millennials dan Gen Z kita.